Welcome back, everybody. We are at Axpona 2026, and I'm Jiles in for the listening room. Now, I'm in what I think is maybe the most unique room of the whole show. I mean, I walked in, I was absolutely blown away. This is the Swan Song room at 1644, correct?
Correct.
And you know, if you don't know this brand, that's the purpose of this video, because they have some incredibly cool technology. Now, joining me is Tony from Swan Song. Maybe we could start with a little bit about yourself, who you are, and then maybe a little bit about the company and what Swan Song does.
My name is Tony Crocker. I used to be an electrical engineer and a consultant, and I needed to do something after my days of consulting was done. Sure. And we got into the electronics business, starting out actually with phono preamplifiers.
Okay.
Did tube amplifiers for a while, still do tube amplifiers, but our specialty these days is really low noise amplification and 3D printed products that allow you, the buyer, to choose your colors and textures.
Right on.
And hence, we can build rocket speakers, we can do preamplifiers, we can do turntables. Right now, this is part of a 3-year tour to build brand awareness and to get the public to say, hey, 3D printing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It doesn't have to be a wooden box.
There you go. That's cool. That's cool. Now, the company, when did you start Swan Song, and where are you guys based out of?
We started back in 2016.
Okay.
Currently, we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
But we're moving to Tampa.
Oh, hey, Florida. It's warmer.
It's warmer, and there's more money in Florida than there's Oklahoma.
Sure, I totally get it. Probably more customers, because Florida is one of the biggest 3 kind of retail sales centers in the United States. So great place to be. Let's get into some of these products. And I mean, it's not just that we're going to talk about a speaker or an amplifier. We're going to talk about everything in this room, and we're going to go one by one. Sound good?
Good.
All right.
Well, let's start with the curiosities in the corners. I wanted an LP box that would show off 3D printing, and so guess what? I printed my own. And it's purple and black with my swan. Down below, if you buy cables from us, this is for an RCA cable. There's a larger one for speaker cables. They go in these little boxes. And these little buggers unscrew. This is real time. It's a set of cables. So the cables are Argentium silver. We do these in-house. And if you notice, on our cables, we 3D print the plugs on the end. The reason being is the ones we buy are really heavy, and they're rather expensive because that tip is pure silver. So these are not cheap. If you're looking at a set of RCA cables, because the price of silver has gone up so much, we're really talking around $1,500. Didn't start out that way. If we're talking a set of speaker cables, which comes in the larger box, same Argentium silver, same 9-strand twist, it's a heavier gauge. These also, you notice we separate out the ground and the positive. These are around 16 gauge. Speaker cables are a 14 gauge, and you can see a set of speaker cables here. And the speaker cables, I'll just unplug this because it'll be easier unscrewing out of the box. They come with solid copper ends. And they are also Argentium, and then we have these little spacers that we do. We call these glam cables. Why? I don't know. Seems more of a fashion cable than necessary, but that's why we call them glam cables. Next, we have the elephant in the room, rocket speaker. Why a giant rocket that looks like something else? Well, talking with a wife, what is it that women don't like about speakers? They don't like the floor space they take up. So I said, okay, how about if you give me 13 inches floor space? How tall can I go? Don't care. So we ended up with a 7-foot tall rocket speaker. These are a combination of parts that are connected together, and then we have collars where they unscrew. So we have threads, just like on a threaded box. So they actually come apart in 4 pieces, and then the feet also come off as well so they can transport. Now the big question is, how much did it take to do these silly things? Okay, the hard stuff, PLA, and by the way, you've got different colors here, and little things hidden in there. We had actually got Swan in there too somewhere. That was 51 kilograms of filament. That's over 100 pounds of filament for the pair. Crazy, huh? The flexible stuff. That was 6 kilograms. The reason why we have these flexible pieces in it is it helps with the dampening, because we don't have, it's like rubber. So that dampens vibrations. They are Fatal Pro drivers. Got a 12 and a 4. Crossovers are Mundorf. The entire wiring inside is another 8 feet cable of that same argentium silver cable. So I'm making actually a set of cables to go inside of it. Crossover sits right on top, right here, behind this. These are 2 different compartments. You got a lower compartment and an upper compartment with a hole in. You've got a port down below, and you have a port at the top because it's so tall. All right, now the crazy part is, how long did it take to print a set? 2,001 hours. So yeah, they're expensive. And what's the pricing on it? We're looking at $17,000. They do break apart, they do ship. That does not include shipping. Haven't figured out how to ship yet. Finally have located some Pelican cases where I can break them down and put them in those. And you would get the Pelican case. If you send the Pelican case back to me, they wouldn't have to charge for the Pelican case, because that ain't cheap either. Okay. The other crazy thing in the room is the turntable. Oh my gosh. I did this mainly as a demonstration because I was going to be building a turntable for a facility that never happened, and a couple of years went by and I realized I have a lot of money sitting here. I have a Moart tone arm. As you know, those are around $9,000. I have a speed control, which is several $1,000s from VPI. VPI platter, upgraded platter and bearing, VPI motor. I said, I got to do something with all this money, so I made a turntable. It is a Moart 12-inch arm, and it is a Vandenhoel Crimson XG cartridge. That means it's the gold windings. The VPI is great for the speed control because you just, with a flip of the button, you go from 33 to 45. Really like it. This is the analog one, not the digital one. It is the harder one to find. Don't really have a price on that, but I do know what I got into it, and that is $17,000 without margin. Yeah, that was crazy. Monoblock amplifiers. Now these heat sinks are custom made. Those are solid copper heat sinks made in the US. These are also 3D printed. We can do different shapes and sizes. We have capacitive touch pads. We have a screen. They are turned off at the moment because everything here is battery powered. You are completely connected, aside from the VPI. Obviously that's not battery powered. They are 11.5 watts on a system with 93 dB speakers. Talking about 9.5 hours of runtime. They do run by a microprocessor. Everything has a microprocessor controlling it, not just for the screen, but to extend the battery life. If we can measure the output going out, which I do, and then say, okay, you're looking for this much power, I can then set up a set of profiles to extend the battery life. This actually has 8 different modes that you can select. You have sensitive speaker mode, default mode, which is just tries to figure it out. They'll recommend to you a mode. Performance mode, which we have today, and then extreme mode, which means just turn everything on hard as possible and run my batteries down. And then they have different gain levels inside of that, so you can tune that to your needs. Phono preamp is single-ended. Again, microprocessor. There are 8 gain settings, 8 loading settings via the screen. Does have an hour meter. Turntable actually has an hour meter on the back. That is a resettable hour meter. It is single-ended, built off the same architecture as our IDV volume control in here. Both of these are discrete. This is a 128-step IDV volume control. You want to take that voltage in, convert it to current, and then go ahead and kick it out. Has 2 filtered USB DACs. What is a filtered USB DAC? A filtered USB DAC galvanically isolates the USB coming in, because when you're on battery power, you hear everything, and you hear the computer and anything else. So we've got to filter that out. That then runs to a 24 kilohertz, 24-bit, 192 kilohertz upsampling DAC. This is a power on demand system because I don't need to have my DAC powered up if you're doing RCAs. You don't power up, it's got 2 USBs. I'm not going to power both of them up. So I'm going to power up either USB 1, USB 2, or the optical. But not all at the same time. That helps extend battery life. That runtime is around 12 hours. Have our second monoblock, and then we have our servo cables going out to our other rocket. And that is a quick tour of the system. Now, cost in all these. All right, so we said Rocket, he's around 17,000. The cables, the RCA cables, they're around 1,500, and the speaker cables are 1,800. Just kind of depends upon where silver is at the moment, because I build on demand. The amplifiers around 14,000. This guy, I'm going to say around 8,000. I'm saying that because this guy is changing. These guys will pretty much stay the same, just get a new screen. This guy, the preamplifier, is going to go into a larger box, and you'll have a couple options. You can have, boom, the same Class A diamond buffer on top of it, except 2 channels for your headphones. That's one option you can buy. You'll also have the option to buy 2, left and right, 64-step balance controls. In the headphone world, that's important because you'll want that fine 0.1 dB control. Those are options that you can buy. The amplifiers, it's also going to get the new screen, but it still comes out the same price, and it's also going to get a 16-step balance control. You say, well, why would I need a balance control? Well, if you're in a room and your speakers aren't quite where you want them to be, you may need to increase one over the other. And that is a set of technology that I developed for my tube preamplifier. I have a tube preamplifier I did not bring. It has an automatic balance control where it calculates the gain on the tubes, the left and right tubes, and then adjusts the balance for you. In the future, I'm probably going to make that manual just like these so that you can have the ability to change that on your own. Screens will be going to just like an iPad screen. It's a 2-inch ESP32 screen. Nasty, nasty little creature. I have to put a lot of isolation, 4 layers of isolation to just keep the noise out. But not only does it give you everything in one screen, that screen can talk to your iPad or your phone. So that means you can log in and you can control everything from your phone, and it can feed you all kinds of data like where's your battery at, what's your runtime, all that, and we can give you all that information, and they also allow them to talk to each other. So the preamplifier can talk to the amplifiers or the tubes because that's all built into that nice little package. Although unfortunately, like a lot of Chinese things, no offense on that, it was poorly designed and it's very noisy. But we're working on it. I think got the noise down on it, and that's what we'll be rolling out in the fall after we move to Tampa.
Thank you so much for telling us about everything that's here. If people want to find you at the show, where do they go? And then if they want to buy your products, where do they go?
If they want to buy the products, they just contact me directly because everything is custom made.
Okay.
Be 3D printing. If you want pink rockets, I'll make you pink rockets. If you want a purple system, we'll print you up a purple system. That's part of the deal. The screens are also custom to you.
Okay.
We have different colors and text that's customized to you. To find us at the show, just come all the way up to the top floor, 1644.
Awesome. So I'll have links down below in the notes for everyone. So if you want to find the website, you'll be able to find them there. And then if you want to find us, I'll have all the links to our social media there as well. Thank you so much for watching. Stick around and you'll hear a demo of the system.